Hi, back again to a new tutorial. Today we make a hand. You see, I have this picture used here. You can get them on my Facebook group that called Blender for Absolute Beginners. There under the group pictures, there are these tutorial pictures here, with then we work today. So we start. So we start with cube, add mesh cube. You see what happens here? That means we scale that in the Y face selection, only the front face. Scale X, then move it a little bit to the right side. Now we have that here. Then we need two loops in there. So we go in edit mode, Control R to get one loop there and one down there. Good. Then we see here comes now this Daumenraus. So that means we take this face here and go in that view, extrude and scale that and bring that out with grabbing. So we have that. Then we scale that and bring that in our upper part. So then we extrude again, extrude and bring that up to that point. Then we rotate it that we have a more straight line and scale it down that it fits with the rest. That it looks a little organic. We have that from the top, that from the side. That's good for now. Good. Um, we go to point selection, get here a little deeper, and here a little too. Okay. So next step that we see is we make it little bit detailed. So we use at first a subdivision surface modifier. You see that change the structure. We go to level 2 and we give that whole thing in the object mode a smooth. So it looks now. Then we go in there and make here a loop and there a loop. So Control R to make a loop. We scale that if we want, but in first we make here the loops in. Here, that loop, we rotate like the other one is, such like that, and then we scale it that it is a little bit greater than the rest. Then this one here should be more down, and that here, down part too. Then it's all in all too big, so we mark that all with background selection and scale it down, bring it to our object, scale it down, that we get a size that fits with the rest. Think that can be okay for the moment. That is not the finished result because we are at the start. To make a hand isn't easy. We will see that all later. Good. We let it for a moment. Then next one is to put in here these loops we have, this one, and we need two at the front of that. So we make here a loop and there a loop. That is what we have here. Then we go to the back side and make this loops here. So we get here one in the middle, and then we have that 1, 2, 3, 4 lines and 5 lines, and here we have the 5 lines too, so all is okay. But they should be in the same uh, distance, so we middle them, such like that. Good. Then we see the next point is to get here a variation in it. So we make here a loop in, Control R to make a loop. Then this loop can be a little bit smaller, so we scale that down. And the top one also, we scale them down. We get with backface selection here, this whole line, and scale down a little. Good, we have that. Now, when we want to get here the fingers out, that's a problem. We have only 4 words here for each finger. That is bad. We need a distance between them, so we must take more loops, all in all. That means we must cut in here several times. That means we go in here and we see that this whole line here, this line here, don't fit with the rest. So we take them and position them more like nature stuff, so that we have here the roundness for the first finger comes out. Then we take here this line 2 and make it that like the thickness of a finger is. Then we make that with all these lines here. We position them like the thickness of a finger can be. That is some like that. So what I told you before is that we need space between them. So that means we loop here in the second time, one here, one there, and one here. Now we have the possibility to get a space between the fingers come out. And we need, for a good finger, has 6 words. So we must cut in a loop in the side. Then we get the stuff for 6-point word. So we go to the side view and make here a loop in. So we got that. Now we will build our first round stuff there. Before we do that, we try the possibility too. So we get here the middle parts that are the fingers. Then we extrude them one time and we got that. So that is a bad topology for fingers. Fingers are at the start from the hand round. So we must make it round. That means we go here and delete this edges here. X, delete edges. Now it's open stuff. Then we can use a tool. That tool is called Loop Tools. You can is an add-on to Blender. You can install that, and then you have that Loop Tools here. Now we mark the 6 words from this finger, and we go to Circle. Then he makes a circle from that finger. Scale that like you would. Rotate that a little. Scale it a little in that direction that you need. We go here to local position and scale it here in Y and a little in the X and rotate it a little that the points come here correctly. Scale Y, scale, and the rest we can position by hand or we make real X here. That brings it to a good result. Then the rest we can handle manually. We bring it to a similar look that the points on the other side from it, that is like a mirror that you look into. So we have one finger done. The same we now make with all these fingers. So we mark that here. Then we go top view, get circle, go back, don't know what happens. We go to, oh, that's curve. I don't want curve, I want relax or circle. Good, circle doesn't work. So go back to our stuff there. Object mode, we go to our cube. Yeah, good. Then we make it will relax. That's the same. Relax, relax. You see it rounds up. We scale it a little down and it's good. Then we take the next finger here, 6 points, and relax that it is more round stuff. Be careful that you don't have an overlay here from the points. It's better to control when we see them correctly. Yeah. And here we have the same. We relax that, and you see it rounds up, get them a little bit smaller. So we have the first things done. Don't wonder that it looks so wired in the moment. That's absolutely normal in that stage. So we go here, make a loop. Then this down part loop we get with background selection. And then we take a scale and the top we scale to. So we have a more round stuff here. Then what we see is that that part is too long and that here, this loop, is too big. We should see a little, but not as much as it is in the moment. So we can mark that part here and bring that a little down so that we haven't that much distance between them. Then we make now this down part 6 words of a finger and relax them too. So we got that. Take care that you only take the words that you need to. With this selection method, you must be very careful. Then with the background selection, you can get each word by clicking. So we have that one and relax that too. We see we have here 2 words that comes too far out, so we get them back to its own position. Then we have here this space between the fingers. So we go on here and take the 6 words here and relax that 3 times or something. We have the same problem. The points go out of there. We make them that they come to your own space. Good. Last finger, take this here and relax that 3 times. Bring that word on its place. Good. So we have that in the moment. That isn't really sexy or good. That is normal. Scale set 0 to make it uh, plain. Scale set 0. So we mark them all with background selection. Extrude them 1 time and extrude them again. That's the middle finger part. Then we extrude again, not so long as the down part of the fingers, but this one, and extrude it 3 times too. And the last one is extrude to the fingertips. That are the fingertips. Oh, we see we have here a problem, so I go back. So we got to go again. Hope on your thing that is okay, but I must make it here new. 1 time, 1 time, extrude, 1 time, and 1 time, and fingertips. Good. So we now can round up the fingertips. So we scale that down and close it with F. You see what happens, he rounds up the whole stuff there. And that we make with all the fingers. So we, with the tips. So scaling, close with F, scaling, bring down, close with F, scaling, bring down, close with F. Good. So we have that ugly thing here, but no problem, I told it before. So we see when we make a copy of that, Shift D. When we see here what is wrong and what's right, fingers are not on the same high, each one. That is wrong. So we take the right position. There is another length of each. So that we have the same look like here, we mirror that object. So we have now that part grabbing. Now we try to get it on the same size, and don't worry about the variations that we all make later. In this moment it goes only with the higher of that all. So that means we go here and mark that whole finger, but only the one finger, not the other, not this one, and bring them down. That is the little finger, so he should be little in this case. I think that is good. Then we mark the rest and bring them down. So we have here the one line of the finger, here the other line. That is the good length. So we go on with the other fingers. Border select, bring that down to that high, and look that we get these marks here. Where these marks are, there must be the tree loops. So we can see that when you get to wire mode or something else, then you can see it through the object. So that means when we take this loops here, that 3 loops that are on the right position, you see that. Here, this 3 lines, we can get a little up that we are on that position. Then we go farther here, I go back to texture mode and get here with border selection the whole finger. But be careful, only that. So we have that here, and I see here we must go a little bit deeper. Here we go a little bit higher. Good. Next finger, that here, bring them down and position that thing here to there, and this one a little bit higher. I think that should work. Yeah, that's good. Good. So we have that. Then we see the hand isn't straight from the front. It is more like that. So that means for our hand, we make a copy of that, Shift D, and we go from top view, maybe. We look. Oh no, we make it other way. We make it with this part here. That means we get to the edge selection with background selecting and get here this edges in the middle so we can tweak them with proportional editing and get them to a banded version of the hand. So we look from top, then we get here proportional editing connected and grab it in the Y, grab Y, and now you see I can bend that like I would. When I roll the middle mouse button, I can increase or make it greater or smaller the effect. That effect should be enough for the moment. If you like later, you can tweak that. That is not a problem. Good. Now we must look for the whole stuff. When you look at your fingers, the down part is a very round part, and the other two parts of the finger go smaller from the root to the tip. So that means that here isn't the right way to do that. So we make here disable the proportional editing, go here to normal view, and we see that this line here should be similar to the start of the hand, that it is the thickest point ever. And then we get the rest, that it goes smaller and smaller and smaller to the top. So we grab that and make it smaller, but only a little. You see it at your fingers, look at your fingers and style it like your fingers are. Make that all nearby, that we have a real concept here. Good. We see that is the form we want to have. That means we can take that here and bring it a little to this side here and the top part a little to the Y so that we have a following down. Okay, don't worry about that, that we all make later. First, we make it with all the fingers that if root and tip is another. So how we can do that? We go here and mark that with border selection. Then we press H to hide. Then we can hide this object and then we see the other finger better. That is hard to hide. Then we see only that finger there and we can handle them. So the root is good, and here we must go near. That is too crazy stuff there. Then you can make space, search, slide slide. There is an edge slide. Then you can handle that without destroying the topology of that edge slide. So that good. Here we make the same edge slide and the top one, two edge slide. Good. Here we must go smaller, so we scale that down to that point. Then we get the tip and bring them to normal position. That looks good for this finger. One more done. So we hide them too. We mark that here with background selection. So again, mark that and hide this stuff with H. I don't know in English. So look again to that. And next finger. We see it, the root is good. So we go to that here and make this edge slide again. Mark the whole loop with holding Alt and right mouse button, space, search, edge slide, move mouse down, ready to go. Here the same. Okay, good. These three loops we scale and the tip we bring into position. Good. That was that finger. So we mark them with background selection, border selection, and hide them too with ha. Good. Now we look at the root. Root is good, but here we see it is maybe too small in the short part of the length on the finger. So we get first the slide, add slide, and here again, same we make with the top part, but we go from the middle down, add slide, and here two. Good. This three lines will make it a little bit thicker. Then we get these three loops and scale them down, bring them a little to the Y, get the tip, bring them and bring them down. That's very too long. Good. Now we go on. With Alt, H, we can bring them back, the hidden places, and we get that here. It is better than before. You see what we had before was that. Now we have that. That is more like that B1. But you see that the fingers, when you look from the top or from the down, they don't get too small at the top there. So that means we must correct that. All in all, the small finger must be the little of them all. So we scale him down to such like that is the smallest and an even from the root to the top. So we scale them only in the X now. Mark this here and scale in the X, but only a little. When we take this here, only that part here, scale X. So that is more straight. Think here we can go scale X a little bit smaller, and this here smaller to scale X. Such like that. That is more comfortable that here. That is too small at the top and too thick at the bottom. So we go here and take the down part of the finger and scale it in the X like before. This must be thicker than the other finger. So we get this here and scale that to the X, such like that. And maybe a little bit more scale X and bring it in the middle. Okay, a little less. Okay, we have that. That is a little bit too long at all. I think that is more realistic for that, but we will see that all later. That is not that point now. We get the down part here and make that a little smaller. Yeah, get this tree and scale in the X little, and that here is good now, but this tip must be lower. Good. Then here we make the same. We go here, scale in the X, and take this here, scale in the X. So we get that a little bit down here. We have that. Good. That was that. Shift D, make a copy, save one time before. Good. So when we grab that and look at other hands, then we see that that isn't completely straight like here. It is a little shooty out part there. That means we must make here a little higher and here a little bit lower. That means we get this points here, and with proportional connecting, we grab them to the Y, roll down, that we only get this part here. And you see we get that down here and have then more that. And all in all, we want to have here a more round result. So we need here a loop in and get this point and grab that with proportional in the X and roll the mouse. Then you can handle how much should be go with. So that we have such like that. That's good. Then we have that here. We see that is good, but here is too thick. So we go here too with proportional, grab Y, roll the middle mouse button and only include the top part. So we get that here. And here we can go a little down. So we got that. When we look from the top, we see here that is a little too much. So we go here back. We got that. Maybe we need here another loop. So we make here a loop in and grab them so we can have more detail to work on. Good. We have that. Now we should make the topology more correctly. That means we take these words and bring them in a line to the other stuff. That means we disable proportional and look that we have a good flow That means we take this edge slide again, that it comes from the root to the top in one line that goes through. You see here that is beside this line, so we make it that it fits with the lines. So we go a little bit near. Here the same, a little bit to the left we need. So grab X, and here to the right, grab X to that, and here a little to the left, grab X, and a little to this side. Then that here we can make a little more, that is middle. Good. Then we want to have a round part, so that means that here must more at the outside than the other part, that it is round looking stuff. That's good. And that here is too even. That means we need this line and bring them a little out. So we get that whole thing here and bring them to the X. So we got that. Good. Now, here that is too much. We go back from the whole stuff. It must be a little changed. Here we have a difference. So we grab and bring them into. They are of, so we must make it that it comes out. We can make it with Z, then we see it better where it is in a moment. There it is, and I want to have it there. So that is better, but a little up, such like that. Good. Fingers are not even like that here. When you see that it's all points on one line, that isn't normal. So that one here must be more in the middle. That means we put them here. The same we make with this side here. We go in and bring them there. More to this side too. I make you solid mode so you can see it better. We now look that we built here some that could be a tip. That means that here must be more there. That here must more there. And so we can tweak from all sides that we have a more round looking stuff. Here we see it. That is must be more in the middle. So we go here to this point, this point, this point, and this point. Now it's more natural. The same we need to do on the top. We go here and bring it a little bit more to the side, here more to the side, here more to the side, and here too. That is good. You can tweak that perfectly if you want, but for me, that is good when it's halfway flowing. Good. We also see that this point is too flat. It must go a little out. We have round stuff, the hand of a human is round at each point. So we go out here to make a good flow. So that looks good for the moment. Now we scale the middle part here again, that we have here a good flow. Good. Then at this part, we can make a little brighter. Good. That is okay for now. So what we see next, the same what we made here with this one. We must look for all these fingers. And here we have the same at the front. We must go here a little and make that even size. So with hold it control and mark the front and the last, you can mark that. Then with edge slide, you can slide away. That means from here to here with hold it control, then edge slide and bring it more to the similar flowing. Bring that in, that here, and float in, and here, flow in. Good, that is better. We see here these points are too far away, so we bring them into the same as here. We get these points and bring them in, so that we have a floating resolution. Good, we have that. All in all, not so bad, but the proportions are not correct. So, file, save. When we now look here at this hand, and we look at this hand, we see that the whole part is okay, but the height of the fingers are not even the same. So that means we must make them longer. So we get here this top lines and proportional editing connected and grab set. And now you can handle that. Be sure that all goes with and goes longer. That is good for the fingers. That is more the look. And you see the fingers are too thin. They must be thicker. So that means we go here a little down and make them all in all thicker. So that means we disable that here and go with background selection and scale that in the whole. Good. Scale that we get the thickness of this finger there. Bring them a little up. This is more that size, but think on it now. You must get the high down again. Grab, set, and go down with it all. Good. Now the next finger, that is too thin too. So we mark that all and scale that without proportional and make that thicker. Some like that and get up and with proportional get them grab set down. Good. Same we make now with all fingers, that we have the same thickness of the finger than the sample picture there. We scale without this, scale them up, such like that, get up and get that here with proportional connected, grab set down. You see here how much is the difference between the fingers. That is not a problem, you can get that. Less is that here, and only a little more. So such like that, bring up and get that whole thing, grab, set down. Good. That is more than it should be, but we must get here right. That is the right proportion for that. From the side, that is okay. We will bend that later. That is not a problem. Good. Then we have here this lines, scale set 0 to bring them to the right position, but without proportional. Scale set 0, mark the middle one, scale set 0, the over one. So here we have a difference between them. That shouldn't be. So we scale that here up. That is straight. Good. When you look at your hand, the middle should everything a little brighter than the rest of the finger. So we have it in this case here. Should be a little brighter. Then here it should be brighter, here it should be brighter, and here. Here we go with edge slide, a little bit deeper. And then make it here a little bit more. Yeah, good. That is better. We have that. Here, think that is a little too big here. So we get this part here with proportional and grab that a little. Grabbing, but include only this. Go back. Yeah, that is right, so we make it again. Think we haven't get them correct. Ah, here is disabled, so connect. Roll down and get them more thinner, I think. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. But here is something wired. So we go here and have a look. Here it must be a little bit more. Yeah, but it's good. Here we can go a little bit out. We go here and set wireframe mode and get these 2 points there and bring them. You see that's too hard here. So we get them to float. Then it's better. Yeah, good. We save again. File, save. Good. That we have for now. That is the ground stuff. I think all in all it is too long in that. So I scale set the whole thing, and Shift D to copy that and scale it in the X little. But this I will get down. That's too long for me, I think. With proportional grab set. Looks better. Then we have here that a little too much. We don't need that in all directions like this stuff is. And we see we have here the problem that the outer parts of the finger are the same with the other parts there. That is a little problem for later, but we will get them later. Correct. So we try to make it here more even, that we don't have this seeable cut there. Yeah, that is better. Here should be out, but a little too much. Good. Here, that is okay. That here is too much. Good. And the rest for now is okay. But here, oh, we need to go out of these pictures here that we have better look at it. So here we have problems. That means they must be more to the Y, and that here too. Yeah. Now the fingernails we make fast. So we have that. And that. Okay. Good. Then we can make our first banding from the fingers. That means with behind selection, we get a middle part of that. That here. And then we can take professional connected, grab and Y, and then we can bend that fingers. That's good. That here is too much bended there, so we get the top of that and bring that a little to this side. Here too. Yeah, it's okay. Good. Then we can get this part here and grab it with proportional connected, the great influence, and give them more to the side. That's good. So here we need another loop to sharpen that up. Good. Here we haven't the roundness enough, so we get this point, grab in Y. Grab Y. So that is round. And all in all, that is fat here. So I get 2 points and grab Y and bring that more in. Then we have that. That was a little too much. So go back a little. And maybe here a little back. Grab Y. Good. All in all, that here must be more, we disable proportional, more to the side here. So I mark that all and get them more to this point here. That is middle of the hand. Good. That is okay. That is too small here. So we get here loop 2 and grab this point here, but with proportional. Grab X. Good. And I will get this whole stuff a little down. So disable that. I'll select it all and bring it a little down. So that is better. Good. Yeah, we must look later. Here isn't that like I would at. It is all in all, the hand must be at the top smaller than at the down part. So that here is too fat all in all. So I get that ring here, this loop, and proportional scaling in the Y, and the top part scaling Y. Yeah, we must tweak now a little to find out where is the correct position for that. Good. For the first is good. We can make following, we can mark that whole stuff here with the finger and bring them near to the middle of that object, to the other finger. So that means we take that here, all in all, yeah, and bring them more to the other fingers. Yeah, that's better. Shift D to duplicate them. File, save. Good. Now we make the fingernails. So for that, we mark this front part and extrude them, bring them into. Then we take here with N, this panel. Then we take the mean grease, add one. That goes sharpen up that all. That we make now with all the fingers. Extrude, bring them in the Y. And scale a little maybe if you need to. And mean grease to 1. Don't care about how it looks in the moment. That is all not that we have later. It's only for the start. 1 and here 2. Extrude, bring in 1. Good. And the same is here. Must look that I get right here. Extrude, bring in 1. Good. Now we must make them a little bit more looking right. So we make there some loops in the middle of that so we can control better the thickness of that. And we go here and bring out this outer parts to scale in the X, that we get more this result. But better is when we get it with the other parts in there. So we go to set mode and get that width. So we scale Y, and then it looks in solid mode like that, and we don't make it too fat but a little. So such like that maybe, but we must be careful because that can look awful when you don't make it that it fits with the rest. So be careful with that. Good, here we have the same one, and it is too long, but we will tweak that all. So set, we go there, 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 and scale in the Y, and this here too, scale Y. Good. So we make it with all this stuff there. Scale Y, X, and here. Scale X. Good. Then we go solid mode. We have that. Then we go in and make that a little bit higher, so that isn't that long. So solid mode, front view, and bring that up a little, and bring that in, and the top a little down. Such like that. It's better. Here down to little scale, make it a little bit smaller. Here maybe a little scale too. Yeah. Here down. That is too fat all in all. I see that. We must correct that. That must be more there. That there. And the back lines too. So that. Good. We have that. Here the same. Mark that top part there. Go a little down and a little by. Then we must correct that here. So we have that. Good. Then we must make the nails on them. There are no nails is that where it goes deep in, but no nails. So with Shift D, make a copy of that file, save. Now comes the hammer. Okay, go in the edit mode. Now we mark that both faces and extrude them out. That we get that. And then we have here this front part. There we can extrude that. That isn't the right one. I go back. So that was that. Then we get here, this line, bring them back near to that. So we have a small point there out. Then we get these two lines extrude there. And then I can bring that out with extrude. And then we have that nail, scale X. Then you can handle how round you will have it, how long you will have it, and so on. That is how you to make that like you would. Scale X, such like that maybe. You can tweak that. Good. Here we make the same. We go first and bring that near to. That we make with all. Then we bring them out. So we extrude them. Then we get that front face and extrude that, bring it on Y, bring it in a Z and then Y, and then we can handle the scaling with this top red lines there, these two. You can handle how bright it should look. Scale X, then you can handle that, and with that you can handle the rest so that you say that it's good for you. Good. Extrude and Y, get this thing out here. Extrude, go up, bring them a little to the position, scale it in the Y, get these two edges, this one and this one, and then scale in the X like you would. So that one. Extrude, extrude, scale in the X, set, and scale in the X. Good. So we have that here is the same. We must bring the three front things down near to, and then that here we get up to round up that a little, such like that. Then we get out the nail, extrude in that direction, get front faces and extrude in length and scale it down. Here you can make it a little bit smaller if you like, that isn't as long as it is now here. So we can get here, let's set this here and bring them up so that we have a good look. Good. So we have that all. Then we must mark seams to unwrap that all to get there some skin on. That means in the middle we must cut through the whole hand. And we have it here. That is the whole hand. And here this line. Good. Then we go to UV shading, mark seam. That cuts through that all. And in this case, we mark the top rings too. So mark seam, and the down part means that here mark seam. This edges we don't need here, so we can delete that edges. Then it's open. Here is some, oh, forgotten one. Good. So we have that. Now we can get here up and bring here on the side. Then we get here a UV image editor and here a node editor and to hide this panel and give them new, we call it hand. That's the hand material. File, save. We go in the edit mode and make an unwrap of that, and we make it from view. So from view, we have that. Then we want to have only a half of them. So with Control plus, we can select the half of them, deselect all that we don't need. So that we don't need, only the half. So that is good. That is this line that we need, that we don't need. Yeah, this sure should be all the half. So that. When we have marked that, then we can make a vertex group of that so that we can easily unwrap it from the top or from the down part so that we can texture them later easy. When we have one time marked that, we can invert that to get the other side. That is the good thing by that. So good, we have that. Then we go here to group. We'll go to vertex group plus, double click on group and name it top hand and give them a sign. Good. So that should be when you look from the top. So we give them here the hand, and I've searched in Google and I open one. I found that here. There are two hands, and I can make a preview, see the hands. And when I go here to this picture here, There I can take this hand too. Then we see the hand and we see our thing, and that thing should be on this part. So we make here U to unwrap from view. We have that. Now we scale them up and rotate them, grab them to position them. It fits not perfectly. You must tweak that all by hand. Make a sign. And then you see here it lays that fingers over our model. And we must now tweak that all manually, that all words comes to her place. The same we must make with the other side to this one here. That means we invert the selection, inverse. Now we have the inside of the hand, and you unwrap from view, and we get that one here, and rotate them to scale up and bring them to this hand. So we have here the inside of the hand, here the outside of the hand, and that is what we want to have. Now we only must tweak here each word to the right points. That here is here, that's here, that's here, and so on. I don't make that now all with you. You know what to do. You can make that by your own, and then you have a realistic looking hand. I make it on one thing that you can see how it works, and then you can make it for the rest by your own. You also can use here border selection, circle selection, and so on. That makes it easier, and you can get proportional editing. Then you can tweak that much faster. And you see now this finger fits like it should. From the other side, I must make it from the top. That is the same. And so you make it with each finger, that each finger is correctly. I showed you one time when you get here one word and you make here proportional connected, then you can grab and you see what it includes, and then you can handle that much faster. But you should try that all on your own. Good. So I have that. We have a wonderful, realistic looking hand there. And that was it for today. See you next time. Bye.